Today on the Boot Guide, we're going to take a look at the Ridge Ultimate 9000 Waterproof Tactical Boot. So with the world of tactical boots becoming so over-flooded with so many different styles and brands today, Ridge has done a really good job of carving out their own little section with the Ultimate. Ridge has a few key details that they've added to this boot that you have yet to see in other manufacturers. First off, they use a 1A carbon outsole. So by adding carbon to the mixture and the chemistry of the sole, it's going to last longer, it's going to feel better, it's going to be more dependable. Also, the sole is slip and oil resistant. And a nice touch on this is instead of the sole being flat, they actually have a small defined heel with these two outcroppings here. So you can actually climb and get your foot locked into something. And it ridges itself down and around in the shank section. And they actually use a composite shank built into the boot. In the heel section of the boot, outside of it being a nice tight heel, you get this beautiful air bubble down here, which is something that you find in the running shoe and basketball shoe world. Well, Ridge threw it into their tactical boot, offering you a little bit more cushion as you're running and jumping, just doing those things that you do in boots like this. Now the boot is 100% waterproof with a Dri-Lex liner, but they also use a wicky material on the inside to help keep you drier in hotter, warmer situations. And a nice touch that they've added, and this is a detailed touch, is on the zipper section, and it is a side zip, it's an 8-inch side zip boot, is instead of running the material to the top, so you can't stand in a bucket of water that goes all the way to the top of the boot, they kind of cancel it out at the 6-inch section here. But that makes it so much easier getting these things on and off. Where off most of the times with boots like this, they finish this section here off to the top, and it makes it a little bit harder. You got to untie your boot a little bit more, and it just takes you longer to get these on. Well, Ridge kind of conquered that. Not only did they add this, but they also angled the zipper. So the boot opens up on more of an angle when you have to get your foot in and out of it. Ridge didn't skimp on the zipper. They used a YKK zipper. So it's a beautiful, dependable, self-healing zipper. And for the hook and loop zipper keeper, they did a really good job of making sure that it tucks back and kind of becomes invisible in the top of the boot. Inside the boot, you're going to find this beautiful Poron insole. It's a removable Poron insole that has gel pads in the heel and the ball of the foot. Underneath that is the waterproof lining. So it isn't like you can run around with these without this in there. You do need an insole inside this boot so you don't harm the waterproof barrier that's built into the boot if you want to keep it 100% waterproof. The tip of the boot is a full grain polishable leather, so they're going to pass inspection. The rest of the boot is compiled of Ripstop and some plastic parts. Now the eyelids all the way up, they're pass-through. They're not speed laces. So once your laces are in there, you got to figure out how you're going to lace and unlace this boot in order to get it on and off every morning. Once you figure that out, this boot is going to be on and off in seconds flat, because that's the way Ridge designed it. Now the construction and the fit, well, the boot is all tripled and double stitched, and it's seam sealed. So you don't have to worry about it falling apart because of stitching problems, because they've covered that. By adding triple rows of stitches, it's going to stay together even in the toughest situations, and even with the most flexes that you can throw at a tactical boot, it's still going to stay together. There's not a lot of glued sections like you're going to find in some of the new boots today. Ridge really did go out of the way and try to make the boot properly for the jobs that it's intended for. Now they make these in D's and double E's, and in the D width they carry that size all the way down to a size 4, and they finish it off at a 14. Now that's really nice when you think about it, that they're building a tactical, waterproof, fully functional, ready for action type boot in a size 4. So that means they've got the ladies covered, they got you guys who have the smaller feet covered, they're not leaving you out. It isn't like you got to go hunting around. Ridge understands that law enforcement and private security come in all shapes and sizes, and they're building a boot that fits those needs. Now the double E's that they make, well, if the D shows me anything, is that the double E is going to be a true double E, because the D in this boot fit me perfectly out of the box. So their double E's are probably going to be a little sloppy on my foot, but I'm not a double E width. So that's pretty comforting too. So when Ridge sent me their Ultimate 9000 boot, they also sent me 3 of their best socks to test out the boot with. Now, each sock that they sent me has its own purpose. I'm going to start here with their Cool Max Duty sock. For you guys that really like a heavy cotton sock, this is a really good choice to go along with any sort of uniform or tactical boot. Because of the 76% cotton and the 11% Cool Max, your foot is going to be a little bit drier than it would be in a normal cotton sock, and you're not going to have a foot full of synthetics wrapped around your foot if you have problems with synthetic yarns. The second is the Comfort Dry. Now this is for you guys that are in high activity, for guys that are constantly on their feet, and for you guys that have really sweaty feet. With the fiber content being 80% polyester, 18% nylon, and 2% stretch spandex, this thing is going to hold its shape. It's going to stay up in an 8-inch boot, and you're going to be dry, because that's the nature of all those yarns when you put them together, is to keep your foot dry. Now the last sock is probably my favorite sock. It's the tallest sock that they make. This premium extra long sock, well, I just like it. I like tall socks, and I always have, mainly because I like tall boots. But the fiber content that they made this sock out of, 86% acrylic, 10% stretch spandex, and 4% elastic, means that this sock is going to stay up. And by touching it, you can feel where all those materials come into play. So that's the Ridge Ultimate 9000 Tactical Boot. Side zip, 100% waterproof with this beautiful 1A carbon long wearing sole. If you're currently wearing a pair of Ridge boots, or if you've worn Ridge in the past, please comment below. Let guys know what you thought about the boot, what you think about the brand, and if you've had any experience with Ridge socks, please comment below. If you want to see some detailed photos of this boot, or if you want to know more about the socks, swing by to bootguy.com. There I'll have all kinds of links that'll help you pick a pair of these up and get them on your feet, and I'll also have more detailed information about the socks and about the materials that they make this sole out of. Please don't forget to hit my subscribe button below. It really helps out. And if you should have any questions about purchasing Ridge boots or just boots in general, shoot me over an email. All right, until the next time, I'm the Boot Guy. Thanks a lot for watching.